It's the Morning Hustle with L'Oreal and Kyle Santillian, CEO of Hollywood Unlocked, and of course, the host of the Jason Lee Show. Jason Lee is in the building.
What up, what up, what up?
What's up, bro?
Oh, y'all got bells?
Oh, no, I got a bell. I have a bell.
I actually have a bell. I own a bell in my house, but it says, ring this for a blowjob.
Well, I'm going to use it for the same exact thing.
I haven't used it, but I do have it.
I was about to say, that was the question. How often does it get rung, right?
No. I just buy like sex toys and shit for my housekeeper because I like to get her reaction.
Housekeeper?
No, when she sees it, she like organizes it in a way to let me know she saw it. So I get the most craziest stuff to make her think that there's like all types of weirdness.
I was about to say this is giving Lizzo
No.
banana trip.
No. First of all, I don't believe that at all.
Me neither.
either.
I was gonna ask you that.
Lizzo does not seem like the type of person that says, "Come over here to this party and go eat this banana." Lizzo don't eat bananas.
But wait, what about when the clip came out?
Yeah.
Well, maybe she did, but who cares? I mean, entertainment is different. You from New York, the box.
Yeah.
If you've been at the box, I went to the box where transsexuals sat on a toilet, went number 2, pulled it out and threw it in the audience.
Oh.
Now, a lot of these workers want to hang around with celebrities because they want to be popping too. Nobody told you to go to the box. Nobody told you to get that crap thrown on you, but you at the box and it is a
I don't find stuff like that fun.
No.
The box is really fun.
Yeah, but like getting crap thrown at you.
No, yeah, definitely
Yeah,
not.
that's-
And
That
that's
don't sound like a place I ever want to go to.
But that's why you get balcony seats.
So you can watch other people
Exactly.
get shitted on.
Like, oh my God.
But some people say you shit on people, Jason.
Really? Like in real life or on the internet?
Both.
No.
On
No.
the internet.
If anybody out there says I shit on them, they're absolutely lying.
Yes, I think you're pretty safe when it comes to opinions and putting yours out there.
You think so? I don't know. Safe
No,
is the word.
Safe as far as like
Respectful.
No,
I wouldn't say respectful.
Not always, but it's honest.
Okay, honest.
It's honest, and this is why I respect L'Oreal because I think the parallels that we just say what we feel. I feel like I
That's
tend to
safe
go.
to me.
I feel like I tend to go a little harder sometimes, but I've been working on my delivery because I think sometimes my message has been lost in the delivery.
Yeah.
So I am a little bit more mindful now, and also know my impact. So I know that when I say something is going to travel, so I'm very careful that if I do want it to hit the way that it needs to hit, then you're going to feel it.
I will say I'm proud of him for that. Because it used to be blunter and more ruthlesser.
There are some things now where I look back at some old clips, I'm like, wow.
Why did I do that?
Well, with that being said, though, even with the bluntness or even with the realness, I mean, you've still been able to maintain relationships with a lot of these celebrities. It seems like sometimes they might pick and choose. Well, that person asked me this question in a way I didn't like it, so now I don't like them.
Yeah.
But you still been able to maintain relationships despite that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a hater. I do think there's a difference between saying it like you mean it and then being a hater. I've seen a lot of the YouTubers right now in the YouTube community are haters, but that's because they don't know how to evolve outside that little box.
Right.
I think for all of us that live outside of a YouTube or live outside of Instagram and that aren't just social influence, but actually cultural influencers or culture disruptors, we understand like there is a need to have relationships in order to grow, but at the same time, to be respected by the culture, you got to be honest and truthful.
Right.
Because you can't fool the audience. Like, the audience can see everything we do, and they know who's out there just for a job politic, and they know who actually is real. So
Yeah, for sure.
So I wonder about that too, Jason, because I think before the blog got as big as it did, you had a little bit more problems. And I think now that the blog has so much more power and what you've put behind your brand, now people are a little bit like, well, let me more so, instead of being upset with him, let me try to be an ally with him. Do you feel like there's some people that go out their way just to make sure you don't report those stories?
Yeah, and I will say I have to credit Charlemagne. You know, when I was on the show, that damn bell. He said you can't, in this industry, if you can't be used, you're useless. And it was something that just stuck with me. I couldn't shake it for weeks.
He stole that from Kanye, but I'm a shout out to
Did he
him.
really?
He did.
Oh, now that's ironic, given their relationship.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
shout out to Ye. But when he said it, I really just was thinking about it because then I start really analyzing every relationship. That who really likes me for me, because I believe I have value. Hollywood Unlocked has value too, but we're two completely different beasts, right? And so once I start thinking about that, I start really reevaluating a lot of relationships. A lot of people I let go who work for me, a lot of people who I was friends with for many years I let go, but then also a lot of industry people that I thought of as friends or friendly. Like, yeah, we're cool, but like I know the relationship exists between Hollywood Unlocked. So yeah, I get it now, and I also got my own award show. So if you want to see,
okay,
come on,
if you want a seat in that bitch, you better be right,
I know that's
because
right.
you won't get invited. It is not a quantity based event. It is a quality based event. When you're in that room, you feel the love, you feel the inspiration, and hopefully feel motivated to collaborate with people. And it's not a competition, because I'm not in a competition with nobody.
No.
Right.
You're in your own lane.
I'm in my own lane.
And you have huge names when you do these events, like your award show. This ain't just like, you ain't just gonna see somebody from Love and Hip Hop.
Mariah Carey gonna pop out.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's fire.
Yeah.
I just think it's kind of dope that you are where you are in terms of like a business and an industry and a brand. I was reading an article, I think it might have been an article, and it was just talking about your journey, where you started and how you got to where you are right now. And I thought it was dope, and I don't know if everybody in the audience knows where there was a moment where you felt like you said everything is possible because you really were out on a mission to speak to Michael Jackson, and he called you. Can you share that real quick?
Yeah, I mean, I was in foster care. I was one of those kids who was in group homes, group home, foster home after foster home, and my escapism was entertainment. I loved pop culture and culture. Prince and Michael Jackson were, the Rihanna and Beyonce of our era at that time. I was born in the late 70s. And then, when I looked at Michael Jackson, as amazing as he was, I just wanted to know him. I don't even know why I wanted to know him. I just was like, I want to know this guy.
Yeah.
So later on in my community, when I was in a group home, there was one of the first school shootings I'd ever heard of. This guy came and killed a lot of kids at a school, and Michael Jackson actually came to Stockton, where I'm from, paid for all the funerals, met with all the kids at the school, went to the hospital, and basically told the community, you're going to survive this. You're more, but you're still here. God's still, whatever. And I never saw that type of compassion, for somebody to actually care about a community that we felt nobody looked at and that had no reason to be there, that he did that. So I was dead set on meeting him, and I looked on the back of a tape. I found his production company. I called 411, and I called every day, and I said, let me talk to Michael's assistant, Evie. I think Evie is.
Who is this kid?
Right.
I think Evie is still alive, by the way. I've been trying to find her. She's in LA, but I called Evie, and I would call Evie every day and be like, what you doing? What you eating for lunch? And we would talk, and I would leave messages for Michael, and she would say, I'm going to give it to him one day, and then they get called. But Michael Jackson is a nigga. That's the thing, like the way he talks, like, all that mousy shit, that's his voice, but not the way when he get on the phone, he like, what's up? Like, hello?
So when he was gonna say hee.
When you see those pictures with him and the rappers, I get it.
He was throwing up.
Well, he probably crip walked up out of there, for sure.
Yeah, that's fire though.
But that was the early years of it. Really, that is just who I am. No matter what I want, no matter what relationship I want, no matter what idea I have, if I want to execute it, everybody has the same abilities and same time. It's just if you want it bad enough, are you going to manifest it, put in the work?
Yes.
You're going to get the hate, you're going to get the doubters, you're going to get the detractors. Everybody has gotten in the way of anything I wanted to do. Everything. If VH1, I was on there, the woman Kelly, who's in the PR department, she was a hater. White woman gatekeeping culture. Then if it was over at hosting the Wendy Williams show, Lonnie from Deborah Mercury, he's an old white man that green lights all the shows, but people who want a job in TV don't talk shit about him. He's a fucking hater. It's really like wherever you want to go, you're going to get a hater. But you just, if you want it bad enough and you got the talent and you got the drive, and they know, they can look at me in my face when I walk in the room and know I'm not going to go away.
Yeah.
And if y'all don't get it through you, I'm going to go build it. And then when I get on my stage, I'm going to talk about you.
Right.
So what happens when things go left? Because I know numerous times.
Wait, where's my bell? Ding!
So what happens when things go left, Jason? So it's a couple things. So the biggest thing, obviously, we're going to talk about the Queen.
Yeah.
And the Queen looked dead to me since I was born, pretty much, because she was just like always look old. But like they said she was sick, and obviously we all know the story. You was like, yeah, listen, she's dead, okay? So people were a little upset with you, and also like, Lunel killed Tito the other day. So like when it comes,
TMZ's killed Lil Wayne a couple
they
times.
killed Lil Wayne, Rick Ross, I believe they killed
course.
before. Why do you think when it came to you saying that you got so much backlash versus everybody else who kills everyone?
Well, what was ironic was the amount of black people who were mad that we had written a story about an old white woman dying, a woman who who's worn jewels that have been stolen from dead Africans, the blood diamonds. But you know, we black people don't know our history because we believe we come from Compton and DeKalb County. No, we come from Africa.
That's right.
We weren't slaves. We were kings and queens who became enslaved. But people don't really know their history. I really think that people love to try to find something on me. Because like right now, you know, I'm being sued too. Y'all probably didn't even get that to you.
Well, it's coming right now.
Oh,
Right?
is it? Okay, perfect. Okay, good. I love research. But you know, it's like people, they want to see me lose so bad. And I've had so many things happen that when they go down, I just kind of laugh because, you know, we live in a clip-based society where you see a clip or you see a title on a story, and all of a sudden that is the whole sum of this person's entire life.
Right.
I'm a bully.
And I laugh
You're
at
a
it
liar.
because when I got a right, that's crazy. Bully and the Beast. Anyway, like bitch, I already know that it's in the title, dummy. It's there if you go look at it. Now I was mad at you for that, and I'm gonna tell you about that in a minute because I feel like you should have went a little harder. But anyway, you're a nice.
Okay, we're gonna talk about why.
But let me say this. Yeah. So the Queen, I got a call from somebody that if I told you who told me, you'd be like, wow. And so I was on vacation.
No, I'm joking.
Shout out to the
You know
real
how black
queen.
people do. We
You ain't gonna Princess Diana me. No, but when I got it, I was on vacation. I told now where I made the mistake. We didn't see the Queen after we did that report. Mm-hmm. We saw a photograph that I can take a photo with you today and post it in 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. We didn't see she canceled all her Zooms. She had private calls. Nobody heard about. The Queen was reportedly dead when I said she was dead.
Jason said she was dead.
Where I think I went wrong was the title was The Queen was found dead. Instead of saying the Queen has reportedly died. And then written that story, and then later, if whatever we could have, you know, and then I doubled down and tripled down, and people were mad, and people thought it was a growth hack, like I did it to just get a bunch of attention, which I didn't. But we survived that, and we are a testament that cancel culture really only exists in the minds of people who are broken. If you own your own shit, you cannot turn the lights off on somebody's company that they control the light switch. So I made more money. I got clearly more press. Mm-hmm. People still bring it up, and I still get to talk about it, and I get to say it to black folks who are on Black Twitter. First of all, fuck Black Twitter, by the way. Black Twitter was designed to...
X, it's called now.
Well, fuck that, too. That was created to keep us all in the loop on what was happening that was important to us.
Right.
Now it's become the highway of cancel culture with, like, let me go get him and her, you know. And so anyway, they were trying to cancel me, but I survived that, and, I just keep on thriving.
Is there bad press, though? Is there such thing as...
No
such thing as bad press?
That's why when everybody talk about Kanye West, Kanye will be back. Kanye ain't going... We could cancel. Kanye is somewhere barefoot knowing that we're going to talk about his feet because he knows the value of whatever he puts on them.
Yeah.
And he knows that if he puts out a Yeezy today, no matter what we think about him, them Yeezys going to sell out in minutes.
Well, Kanye has always come back every time he's put out an album. He's done some stuff. He's been all controversial. People get mad. He put out an album. People love him again.
Yeah,
you
but what does Kanye think about Jason Lee? Because y'all were working together at one point in time, and then... Y'all were together often, and then nothing.
No, I walked away because and let me be very clear. I've never done an interview or said anything online or anything that was disparaging to him because he gave me an amazing opportunity to be the head of media and partnerships for somebody who is a cultural phenomenon and a culture icon. I just feel like I'm also a human being that I have my own roots in what I believe. I believe in a women's right to choose. I believe in gay and trans rights. I believe in equality for all cultures and all races. I don't hate any one group of people, and I feel like the Candace Owens relationships, the White Lives Matter, the all of that, the affection for white validation. I don't have none of that, and he had all of that, and I just felt at that moment it was time for me to walk away. I did 7 months. I did a great thing.
You said like a bid.
Right.
I did my bid, but I left on my own, and he texted me. He said, "I understand if you no longer are down with what I'm doing, and I understand if you want to move on." And I said yes, and he was cool with that. I got all my money for the year that I was supposed to get.
And he still ain't paid a choir. That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know anything about the music department. I didn't work in the music department. I worked in my lane. But I do miss. I'm not even gonna say quarterback in the plays, but I do miss being on the phone plotting out how we gonna move. Because when he listened, we made some moves. But when he decided to do it all on his own,
Did you have to wear the outfit though? Because it's like everybody around just had to wear the boots and the hoodies. And
he did tell me. He did call me and say, he wanted to send his team over to redo my closet.
Not redo.
And I was like, no. And I do love all black, but I was like, no, because I had lost all the weight and I wanted to wear other stuff. But I wore what I wanted to wear. But I did love the collection he did with Gap, and I have the whole collection. Nobody else got it because it didn't come out. But
it was in garbage bags. Remember when he did put the hoodies out though?
Yeah, I didn't get mine. Got delivered by a courier. I didn't.
So you didn't go in the garbage bag like everybody.
No.
Let me stay there with you for a second too, because you've always talked about being very proud and standing in your blackness. You know what I mean? And I was just also reading an article about like you've had to deal with some of that hate being a biracial kid, but people kind of like trying to separate you.
Yeah, because people like when I first started in broadcast, I really just talked into a microphone. I didn't think about the audience. I just said what I believed. And when people say like, "What's your type?" I'll say light-skinned Dominican, green eyes, tattoos. Oh, you're a colorist. I'm like, I'm a colorist? Really? I never even really understood what colorism was at the time, because I love all people, and everybody I've ever dated is has either been my shade or darker. I've not dated a white man. I've not dated an Asian man. No disrespect to y'all. That's just not what I'm into.
Right.
But we've lost the ability to have a preference now. Just even like in my community with the pronouning. Like I'm pronoun exhausted. And so I've said to people, my pronoun is that nigga. So when you see me, don't call me he or them. Call me that nigga. And if you don't, I want you canceled because I am that nigga. You know what I mean?
But that's why I rock with you. Well, I rock with you for many different reasons. But when I had the issue with the pronouns, you was one of the first people. And it wasn't even my issue, FYI.
Yeah.
You were one of the people that really stood up and was like, listen, this is BS.
It's shit's gotten crazy. It has. And I'm not gonna say it's the gay people fault, the straight people fault. I think it's everybody who's afraid to just say what the fuck it is. If you want to be called they, then they can stay outside. When you come in my house, you're by your name, and I'm gonna just call you what I'm gonna call you. And if you're upset about that, I understand. You don't have to come over. We don't have to coexist. And again, the reason why I say that nigga is because now that everybody want to be called what they want to be called, I get to decide what I want to be called.
Exactly.
So if that nigga. Now what's crazy is because I'm light skinned, and I mean when I tell you how much I love being black, is as brutal as the black community is to me at times, and the culture is to me at times, and black celebrities, most of y'all are fucking haters who only get a rise out of being acknowledged by white people, but that's because you have that slave mentality because you're tied to brands and labels and movie houses and this and that. Y'all motherfuckers couldn't do shit. That's why half y'all on strike losing everything now. Where them white people at that you was talking to? Billy Porter. You know what? I'm going to talk about, hold on. No, because Billy Porter is fighting Anna Wintour over who wore a dress first on the cover of Vogue magazine when the nigga didn't pull up to Hollywood Unlocked. All the times he said he was coming, his white publicist didn't say he was coming.
But now, Jason, you gonna drag him when he losing the house?
No, I'm not dragging. No, he losing his house because what he wanted to come on Hollywood Unlocked in the Jason Lee show was to promote his music. He ain't on strike for his music. He never showed up to promote that. He could be getting a bag, but instead he losing his house and worried about Anna Wintour and who she putting on the cover, what man she put on the cover and dresses first. Nigga, your shit is not buttoned up properly, and that's why your black ass is gonna be. Now my house 4 stories, rent, mortgage paid, condo paid, everything
You're not
good.
on strike.
The point is, you were providing a platform, and he chose to go to the mainstream media platform,
because a lot of black folks, a lot of black celebrities, they talk about how they down for the culture and down for Black Lives Matter, but they're afraid to come and have conversations with the very people who actually give them the lives that they have. Yeah. You ain't on that carpet because Vanity Fair wanted you. You on that carpet because niggas watch your nigga movies until you made it to the white people and niggas is watching that shit. But now, fuck niggas. Yeah. Well, guess what? Fuck you too. And that's why that's why when you go back to the black community, what I get so frustrated about, they'll say, hey, Mexican, stop saying nigga. I'm not Mexican. I'm black and Italian. Yeah. And I love being black. And I don't even gravitate. Like, I'm at a point in my career now where I should be more mainstream, but I don't feel comfortable over there. Yeah. I feel comfortable where I'm at. But yeah, they ain't always nice to me, but I don't care.
Well, what's the Dominican obsession? Dominican obsession that you have? Because let me tell you something about Jason, just in case y'all didn't know. If you pulling up on Jason, it gives. I can understand why you and Floyd Mayweather are so cool now, because he has like a harem. And so does Jason. No. And sometimes I be a little confused, like, is this man on my team or this team? Because they be talking and you like, he's fine. And then they're like, L'Oreal, no. He's Jason.
Most of my friends are. I do prefer to hang around with straight men.
Yeah, which I see some of that.
I do prefer to hang out with straight men because I do find my community to be overly competitive in a messy way.
Okay.
I'm not anything I bring around that I'm fucking on. Don't talk to it. Don't touch it. Period. No, and I mean that.
But we're not sure though, because this is the thing with you, right?
Yeah.
You're very, even though you're very low key when it comes to certain stuff.
I try to be.
So what about when it comes to like somebody that you're really serious about? I seen one person that you was like posting and stuff. Was that serious or?
You know, I'm a hopeless romantic. First of all, shout out to Floyd Mayweather. That's my best friend. What he taught me was you can have as many relationships that you can afford. So now that I am successful, I don't know that the traditional one-on-one thing was my thing.
Yeah.
I do enjoy sharing company with more than one person. I am in therapy trying to figure out what that is. The Dominican thing, first of all, Dominicans are black.
Yeah.
I don't know why people.
Don't call
all the
them
time.
that,
I
though.
say that all the time.
What, black?
They don't call themselves black.
Well, that's because, again, y'all niggas got on that free cruise called slavery, and that boat dropped y'all off in different places that y'all don't know where you came from. And because none of you want to read, and you don't even do Audible at this point, y'all don't know shit. Okay,
Yes.
K-Lo-K, whatever. What up, nigga? K-Lo-K, it's all the same. It's just the dialect different because of where you was dropped off. Whether you, anyway, y'all figure
That's
that
just
out.
your
No, that's some real shit though.
Yes.
Like, people just say that all the time, and it's like, have you ever heard of the African diaspora?
Right.
It's the entire globe where slaves were transported to.
Right.
It's not just the United States.
Right.
It is the Dominican. It is
Right.
South America.
Right.
You know what I mean? It is Brazil. Black
Dominicans,
Brazilians
there are
and all that.
Dominicans your color, there are Dominicans your color,
Right.
Dominicans, every shade in here, there is a Dominican that color. I don't know what it is about the Dominicans that that used to be my thing.
Oh,
that
you
ain't my
kicked
thing.
that habit. You kicked
now,
that
now,
habit.
now I'm looking in South Africa.
Oh, I know that's right.
I'm looking in Cape Town.
Okay.
It's a shout out to my friend, but I ain't gonna say his name because I don't know what he got going on. But I met a South African. My friend Blake over here know exactly who it is. And Blake is one of my straight friends who has a girlfriend. And my other friend from South Africa, I think he's straight, maybe he's straight, whatever. I'm in love with him. But I ain't gonna date him because I don't know what's going on. But if he ever give me a chance, Laura, I'll bring him right here first.
I will tell you this much though, with Jason. Like one time, it's been several guys that I know in my life that's like, yeah, Jason shot at me, and I'll be like, yo, you will not.
I don't care. No, here's the deal. The only scandal that can ever come out about me that's true. This is the only one that's true. Is my DMs, because I will slide in somebody's DMs on the most reckless
He
shit
definitely will.
ever, because I feel like a shot not taken is just a shot lost. That's the only time you lose, when you just don't take it. Yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday was crazy.
I had a birthday brunch. I saw somebody cute. He was sitting across the room. He had like 4 girls with him. I sent that nigga a brownie.
He sent him a brownie. He didn't say nothing to the girls at the table. He
Sure
only
did.
sent it to them.
They were sitting around looking like, where my brother? This wasn't for you.
That
This
is
was a
funny.
gift that God gave me to give to him.
And I'm sitting over there like, Jason is bugged. So has anybody ever gotten like offended?
You want to hear a real crazy story?
Yes.
All right, y'all gonna have to edit this. Here you go. So I shoot my shot at this dude. I slide. I know him. So we're DMing, and I'm like, but I know him in real life. So I'm like, what's up? You know what? And he said, yo, bro, like, you mad disrespectful. I told you I'm not gay. Stop hollering at me. I'm like, yo, okay. So then he says, a few days later, just randomly texts me and says, yo, where your trans friends at? And I go, huh? And he go, where your trans friends at? I said, for who? And he said, me, nigga. I said, yo, let's hook up for a drink because I need to like see you in your face. He then confesses that he has had multiple sexual relationships with multiple trans women.
No way.
So I was like, no, you haven't. So then he starts showing me videos and photos of him doing things. He doing shit I don't even do. I'm like, I'm gay. I'm as gay as it gets. I didn't think it gets gayer than that. You know, he had done all. He had done
Crazy.
OnlyFans porn with the trans.
What?
And
Yeah, that's
and in that
wild.
moment, I realized that the validation that when I get at somebody, I get at them because of energy or what they look like. I never know what it's gonna be. I didn't know what that was, and I don't even think he knows what that was.
Right.
Yeah.
Sexuality has just become a lot more fluid. But yeah, I'll shoot my shot in a minute.
Sometimes it's drugs too that pipe up people to be able to say certain
Well,
things.
if you taking dick because you popping perks, that's on you. I don't know. I'm not trying to. I don't know. There's a perk situation going on. I just know what you took.
I
so.
wanted to go back to what you said a second ago about you said you're going to therapy for the whole thing about you could be in as many relationships as you can afford. You said
Well,
that's something that you're trying to deal with in
Well, my
therapy?
therapist says to me, you are, you can manifest everything. You manifested this relationship with Rihanna. You manifested your career. You manifested getting on Wild 'N Out. You manifest everything you want. Why can't you manifest love? I'm like, damn.
Ooh.
That was deep, And so when I think about how bad I want companionship, I also think about the fear of control and being confined to anything. Like I want to be, I'm a great partner in a relationship. I'm a great provider, but I also love my freedom of being able to move around the world the way that I do and not feel like I have to have a conversation about decisions that I make. Right. In relationships, that's you in a relationship?
Yeah,
you got to do that, right?
Kids,
So you have to like.
Yeah, literally, like if I'm going to go do something, hey, I'm about to go do this, or I might have to run my schedule by the family schedule. All the kids have something on this day, so I can't do this, or vice versa. So I understand exactly what you mean.
Yeah, that scares me. See, my dogs, I can just put them in the doggy hotel. You know what I mean?
They're like animals.
Just keep it moving.
Yeah, like the idea of a kid. Like if I had a kid, I would want to be the parent that I didn't have, so I'd want to be very present. I'd always worry about where my kid is. And then the idea of when I see people losing their kids would just be too devastating. Yeah. So I've just said like, I do want to have a kid. Okay. But then the fear of what all that means. And then when they get like 15, they don't fuck with you no more.
Yeah, that's true. For a little bit. Till they need to live again, and then they need you. So they need your help.
Yeah.
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 So then they'll come back.
So I don't know. I do want the companionship, but I do not want the control.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so you had a show before the Jason Lee show, and you had co-hosts.
Yes.
Did you and Melissa ever have a falling out? Because I heard a little something about that.
I mean, we didn't really have a falling out. I think that,
Melissa Ford, I'm referring to.
Yeah. And this is not Rihanna's Melissa Ford. This is Melissa Ford, the video vixen. Yeah, I mean, I loved Melissa Ford, and, I miss whatever that relationship was. I don't want it back. But, I think that she moved on, and it's sort of like when you have a coworker, and in entertainment, when people see you and you have chemistry and you get along, like Angela and them up there, you see them, they have a relationship, and all of a sudden it falls apart. Well, real people have real relationship issues.
Yeah.
We had real relationship issues, but we had online chemistry, and when it no longer worked, we separated. And then she did an interview on Drink Champs that I felt was, she said a couple things that left the idea that there was problems out there. So I went on Drink Champs and cleared it up. But there's no hate. I got all love for her. I know she's over there now with Joe, and I wish her all the success. And I hope that she finds what she's looking for. You know, it just ain't over here, and we're good.
Yeah. What about Tamar? Because you had a situation with Tamar.
No, we did not have Tamar had a situation.
Well, they said that, it was said out there that you and Tamar.
This show messy as hell.
For Jason to say that, that's an honor.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
So, okay, somebody said you lied somewhere along the lines, or you were drunk and said some things that wasn't true.
Well, let's be clear. Nobody will ever call me a liar because they know I'm the receipt keeper. So let's start with that. And say I do love Tamar. She's a nice person, and we're cool. We did recently piece it up at the Celeb Squares. We were both on the episode together. No, what happened was, people tell me a lot of things about a lot of people. And sometimes, if you're talking to Jason, that's one thing. But if you're talking to Hollywood Unlocked through Jason, that's another thing. And sometimes I'm not clear on what it is. And I'm in therapy figure that out too. Like who's friends with me for me and who's friends with me for Hollywood Unlocked. And I think that when her and Candy had their situation, there was a lot of conversation online. There was a lot being talked to from me from different people. And during my episode with Marlo, I put out something that Tamar had told me. And Tamar felt like I had betrayed her and, betrayed her trust. And I could see how she saw that.
So you didn't make that up.
I don't make up anything.
I don't think you do either, but this is what was being said. I was shocked by that because I'm like, Jason?
Yeah, but I do respect Tamar, so I didn't do the whole back and forth online. Yeah. If it would have kept going, I would have, but it didn't get to that. And, we recently pieced it up because I know she really does like me. Yeah. And I really do like her. But, I also have to tell everybody, if you want to be friends with me, just understand that I own Hollywood Unlocked, and that is what it is. I'm not going to politic Hollywood Unlocked with you. And there's a lot of people that I'm friends with that people think, oh, Jason's real. Yeah, I'm friends with them, but that doesn't mean that they don't get the calls and they don't get the heat too. Right, I fall out with a lot of people that people know I'm friends with. We have our issues. when it comes to Hollywood Unlocked at times, because they'll be like, well, you didn't post this, that wasn't fair. Well, look, if you have music and your label's not spending money with me, I'm not posting it, no matter who you are. If you're on the magazine cover and that magazine doesn't feature Hollywood Unlocked, doesn't share our content, doesn't feature Jason Lee, we're not sharing it.
It's business.
Yeah.
It's a business, and that business makes me millions of dollars, so I don't play with that. And then Jason Lee is doing his thing. So if I have an opinion about your song and I don't like it, you can't be mad because you're my friend. Now, that only happens when a celebrity's intention to be my friend is to have it all good at Hollywood Unlocked.
Exactly.
But you know how that is even having the show. It's
all the
right
time.
now.
But how do you personally separate the secrets versus the tea? You know, because for you being around, you have a lot of great relationships. But sometimes with that, you know, it comes a lot of responsibility because things happen around you and then it hits the blog, or maybe it might have happened around you and then like the Tristan thing, it hits the blogs, it's everywhere. And first thing they're going to look at is, well, Jason was there.
Yeah. Well, I don't hide. If I'm there, it was okay. So I do have rules. So like we don't out people. Which I will say with the whole anti-trans, when you see the hip-hop people or Neo commenting on parenting or Gloria Velez peddling homophobia and that type of shit, now when I start seeing them, I'm like, okay, maybe we should start putting out who's sucking dick. Maybe we should put out who's sliding in DMs. Maybe we should put out who's dribbling balls for daytime job and then dribbling balls at night. What I'm saying is, I'm not saying I want to do it.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying,
you're just like, why is Neo talking about gay people?
Let me take my glasses off. What I'm saying is, there is so much grace I give people because I don't want to be the guy that says, yo, that black love you got, not with them snow bunnies on the weekend. I don't want to do that. But I talk to valet. I talk to security. I talk to hotel workers. I talk to TSA. I know who you traveling with. I talk to everyone. And people feel compelled to tell me everything that I'll be eating. They be like, you know who was just in here yesterday. I don't care. You know?
Right.
All the time.
I don't care. But I always say, like, my rules, I don't out people. I don't attack people's children. And private time is private time. So if I'm with you, I'm gonna tell y'all a story right now. This is a real story. I was out at a restaurant with somebody, and we're sitting there, and Angus Cloud is sitting right across from me. And I'm a huge fan of Euphoria, and I'm like, yo, I want to meet this guy.
Yeah.
And before I could get up and go over and speak to him, and mind you, is Jason Lee sitting in this restaurant. It's not a private party. It is an event. He pours a line of cocaine on the table and sniffs the whole line off the table. First of all, may he rest in peace.
I was going to say that.
Whoa.
No,
Jason.
May he rest in peace.
Yeah.
But let's be very clear. There were a lot of people around him that were famous who could have said, don't do that.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
friends, I'm going to snatch you the fuck up and we out of there. It's not happening. So when I saw it, I went outside and I introduced myself to him, and he did not know who I was. He didn't know who the celebrity I was with was.
Wow.
And I said to my team, I went back and I said, something's going to happen to him. And so when it came out, I wasn't happy that I was right. I didn't go post the story of what I saw privately. I felt a deep sense of compassion because my mother was a drug addict and my mother struggled. In Hollywood, drugs is normal, and what I felt for him was a sense of empathy that people around him didn't love him enough, in my opinion, to intervene and help him.
Yeah.
Right.
And he was young, talented. He from the Bay, he from where I'm from, and there's a lot of people that love him, and probably a lot of people that were aware of his addiction. Or alleged addiction, I'll just say, because based on
I mean, but you getting that far to the point where you doing it in front of people
in a
That's
restaurant,
crazy.
Yeah,
in a restaurant,
It's public.
That's far.
But it's the grace that I give that I don't get credit for, because
Yeah.
I could have went, I could have been filming him,
Right.
I could have
that's
been
true.
secretly recording him on the patio,
Right.
and then put out a whole story, and I could have got crazy traffic. Because you would have talked about it if you saw a video on Hollywood Unlocked.
Yeah, that's a fact.
But I didn't do it because I also am a human that has gone through stuff with a mother who had addiction. So I get it. And even like Cynthia Bailey you saw last night.
Yeah.
When I saw her last year at Revolt Summit, we were taking a picture on the red carpet, and I said, you still married? And she looked at me, but she gave me the look that things were not good.
Yeah.
And I hugged her. I said, all right.
That's
I didn't go putting that out.
Yeah.
Then it was announced that she was getting divorced.
Right.
It's almost like Jason be knowing, like, because you won't tell him or nobody anything, and he'll look at you and be like,
Yeah.
Right.
you still there at that, da-da-da? And you be like, I'm not. How did he know? But it's like you can't hide your
But I
face.
mean, when you actually like people and you actually invest in knowing a person, you actually care.
Yeah.
I actually care. Now, if I don't care about you, I don't look at you long enough to give a fuck about what you're going through. And I don't absorb a lot of other people's personal shit. But I do feel like you can kind of tell. You can feel the vibration. You can feel the vibration when stuff's off with somebody.
So where do you stand like with just the whole blog culture right now? You're obviously doing your thing and you have a personal sense of responsibility. But then we see things like what Cardi B and Tasha K is going through and just
she doesn't have any personal sense of accountability.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
You
like,
know,
so the whole blog culture.
Is this your transition to the lawsuit? Because look, I know when the transition
I was
is
like,
coming.
I'm waiting to talk about this
Let me put my motherfucking glasses back on. I know when y'all niggas, I do this, right? I know when the transition coming. Here, let me first say that there's a difference between saying it like you mean it and then being a hater. I'm not a hater. Sometimes my commentary may come off so harsh, or my delivery used to be really harsh, where, you know, it's like, ugh, I can't believe you said that. But if you listen to what I said, it's all factual.
Right.
Even when the whole peddling homophobia, when the whole Neo stuff came out, and Gloria Velez, who I didn't even really know who that was. But when I did my research and found out that she had a baby by Aaron Hall at 15 when he was 30, I'm like, let's talk about pedophilia in hip hop. Mm-hmm. Because if we're going to have a conversation about parenting, who was buying you that baby fat jacket when you was walking through high school with that baby?
The way she was calling daddy, but it wasn't her father. Oh wait, but
ding. You know, but again, that was no shade, because we know that is a cancer of our culture and our communities, right? But it's something that we don't want to talk about. But because the whole trans gay thing is popping, let's talk about that. So my whole thing is we're gonna talk about it all. But no, I think it's a scary time right now where everybody has a microphone that shouldn't. Yeah. Everybody that has an opinion that's not an opinion is just pure hate. And the toxicity level right now of going viral and being talked about, there's this competition of who can read the best and who can. But you better be careful, because those of us with money will come for you. And what we about to talk about, don't think me and my attorneys ain't already looking at how we can deal with that situation. But I feel like, there's a lot of haters, and but it doesn't scare the people like us that say what we think, because you can have an opinion, but just, make sure that it's based on what you're talking about, not other motives.
And have security ready if you need it.
At all times.
I mean, look, Jason put me on to that yesterday, because I thought about it. We were sitting in a room last night. Shout out Ernest Dukes. And it was a tight room, and it was a one-way room. One way in, one way out. And as I'm sitting there, and people coming in there, that I'm like, I thought it said something about this motherfucker, this person here, and so did Jason. He said way worse, I'm sure. But he had his security, so I'm like, we good.
Oh, yeah. I had one by the door, and I had one behind me.
Was good.
And it's funny because Ernest walks up to me and goes, I didn't know you and Akbar don't get along. I'm like, I mean, she don't like...
I didn't realize that until today.
Well, she's mad. She was mad at me. We cool now. We talked last night because I'm proud of Akbar. I'm proud of her growth. She looks phenomenal.
She looked
that body
is,
you know what I mean? She and I, we went through the whole process of losing weight. But she thought I didn't like her because I'm friends with Cardi. But whatever y'all be having, I'm not in that. I love Cardi B. That is my sis. I love her. But we don't sit and exchange notes on who we hate. We don't have a hate list. We're not the mean girls.
But why we all got to beef together? When somebody beef with somebody, it's like, yo, go, power, beef.
Because I own Hollywood Unlocked. So if Hollywood Unlocked's not posting things about you, they assume it's because I'm over here. But it's not like that. My writers have editorial discretion. They write what they want. If they post an ugly picture about you, you did something to them. I don't know. I don't care.
So is that what the lawsuit is about? Somebody got an ugly picture?
No.
Lawsuit,
so there's a lawsuit that's, well, first of all, I'm being sued by a few people. But in this business, you're going to get sued.
Yeah.
I've never lost a lawsuit. I've settled lawsuits, but like most of like copyright infringement, I post a photo. And I was saying to somebody yesterday, if I take a picture of L'Oreal with my photographer and I put it online and she loves it, and she takes it and posts it on her Instagram, but I own the IP, I can sue her. Now, the way that the law is written, which by the way is a shitty law, and I'm all for supporting creators, but it's really crazy because of social media. This was predating social media.
Right.
She now, the amount of money that I can sue her for is up to $250,000 per image.
That's stupid.
With Instagram, if I make a complaint that she violated my my IP rights, now if she gets 10 of them, she loses her Instagram. So if her sole income is based off her Instagram, I can wait till she posts 10 photos that I post of her and then snatch it down. Damn. It's the same if you go to Getty and see a picture of you on a red carpet, you screenshot it, you post it. If you didn't license that photo and have that license, you now have violated copyright infringement. So most of my lawsuits have been that, and I've settled them or whatever, right? But now we have policies and we prevent all that. What happened with me was I was a very successful streamer on an app called Bigo. Loved it. I was making thousands and thousands of dollars over there in partnership with them, billboards, whatever. This other app, which is a competitor named Maiko, came to me, this Japanese company, and said, hey, we want to give you a deal. We'll pay you $400,000 to come over and stream. I'm like, okay, cool. I do it anyway.
Like, do I have to learn
But I know it. They made all these promises, all these commitments on how to market it. They're going to market it, they're going to promote it, they're going to do this, that, they're going to support me. I went over there and there's no real community there. Yeah. So I'm sitting there talking to like 20 people. So I'm going back and forth with the Chinese or whatever they are, or Japanese. I don't know what they're in Asia.
You should learn the language.
But we're like, there's clearly a miscommunication. So I end up saying, look, until we get on the same page, I can't stream. Okay. But let's figure it out. So they gave me a deposit, $200,000. And so instead of trying to work it out with me, they filed a lawsuit that I breached the contract and then put in there that I was a fraud. So now Tasha,
but they gave you a deposit.
They gave me a deposit. No, mind you, I did deliver some of the stuff, but there
was no audience.
There was no audience, so I'm like, yo, here's how we can work together. I can't get a Cardi B to pop up over here with me because there's no audience here. Yeah. We got to figure this out. They didn't want to figure out, and they were like, just give us all our money back. I was like, no, that's not.
That money is. Like I'm wearing that money, sir.
Right. and so, but this is the greatest lesson, and I was talking to Pinky about it last night at the party, right? This is the new defamation. If I want to say L'Oreal is a transphobic, scamming ass hater who has chlamydia.
Jesus Christ!
I have to make it spicy. Right. No pun intended. No pun, because I'm sure
that's extra spicy.
No, well, I'm sure I'm sure if you eat chlamydia, it's spicy. I don't know. Well,
okay, Jason.
First of all, a lot of y'all munching and ain't looking at your food before you eat it. Shut up.
I'm suing him for this.
Okay, no. Listen, I'm not the only person. I'm not the only person that used to give oral sex without observing. But I'm not the only one. I am now, because this mouth speaks to America.
Because you got the blowjob bell.
No, right. This is the mouth of America. It's gonna be a lot cleaner than what we see in these streets. No, so if I wanted to say that about you, if I say it on this mic, you can sue the shit out of me. But if I put it in a lawsuit and I release the lawsuit to TMZ because it's a public document and TMZ puts it out, and then I later withdraw the lawsuit, the damage is done.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's the new game. That's the Lizzo game.
Yeah.
And then these attorneys who are ambulance chasers will come after you to get that back. So if you put in there Jason Lee breached a contract, nobody's going to care about that. But if you say Jason Lee's a fraud and he frauded me out of $200,000, right, that's going to get talked about. So that's the new thing. Yeah. So the funny thing is the only person reporting on it is Tasha K.
Go figure. And she owes a lot of money. So.
Girl, you got 4 million reasons your kid ain't eating. You got a house that ain't housing anymore because you busy talking about Cardi B. You were so busy talking about Cardi B's kids that your kids can't look at their mama and get the type of support and satisfaction a parent's supposed to deliver. You over there in Africa wearing kente scarves, knowing damn well that money you hide in Africa finna get snatched by Cardi when she get up in your bags. And the other thing is somebody that is that ugly should not have an opinion about somebody this cute. But I look at it and that is my opinion that she's ugly and I have the right to say that. Now, Tasha K, we know this is who I'm going to hold accountable. YouTube, you need to take that channel. YouTube at some point is complicit, and Cardi B should have sued YouTube. Cardi B should have sued YouTube because they've allowed a platform to exist that they know is out there intentionally lying on people. Now, with me, she went and found one of my formerly fat interns who was upset that she didn't get a full-time job, but that's because she was talentless and that lisp that she had was just annoying.
Talk about a drag.
But I haven't really dragged her because I could talk about
you haven't?
No, because she recently filed rape charges against somebody that allegedly raped her, but he didn't, and then it got dropped. But see, here's the deal. She was trying to keep a man that was somebody else's man.
Okay.
Now, I don't want to keep going and going and going because I haven't lined up how I want to address this. But since
I'm sure you didn't think about it at all.
No, this is just freestyling.
Yeah, apparently.
But yeah, so now the new game is let me put in a lawsuit what I really want to say and what I want the public to pick up, and then withdraw the lawsuit after it's done the damage.
Once you said the Lizzo example, that makes a lot of sense because it spreads like wildfire.
And then now she's canceled from the halftime show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She was supposed to headline. That went away for a year. I mean, I'm just saying, who does the halftime show at the NFL? Y'all know?
What do you mean?
Who partnered with the NFL to do the halftime
Jay-Z?
show?
Oh, Rock Nation.
Who owns Made in America?
Rock Nation.
Yo, you know what's crazy
That's
about
right.
that? I mean, I believe the Made in America thing off jump, but I ain't even put 2 and 3 together to make 5.
All I'm saying
I'm gonna
is,
give you a high five for that.
all I'm saying is, but here's the deal: be careful because we all susceptible to it.
Oh no,
including Jay-Z. You just don't know where it's gonna come from and who's gonna say it, you know. And being a asshole, because I've heard Lizzo, and I love Lizzo. Lizzo, you know I love you. I've heard that she's difficult.
I heard that as well.
And sometimes a mean girl.
But she's always been nice to me.
She's always been nice to me too. But here's the deal: you can't sue somebody for being a bad boss.
You can't,
Right.
or mean,
or mean. Or mean, because you still want to go hang out with the banana boats, with the mean boss. But that's because a lot of the people who support us as staff also want to be our friend and be in the cool zone.
Right.
No, do your job, dance, and then go home. But if you want to dance and then go to the box and shit get thrown at you, it gets a shitty situation. You should have went home.
What type of boss are you, Jason?
It depends on who you ask. Sometimes I am an asshole because I am a self-made. I started a business from Instagram at $100 and built a $50 million brand that wants to get a $500 million exit. So there is when I tell you, when I wake up, my team they're all texting me right now in different departments because I am passionate. I love what I do. I live for what I do. I live, breathe, eat what I do. So I want a team that is the same way. And I have a lot of people on my team that are like that. And I think that at times, I'll give you an example of my recap video. I spent $110,000 on my birthday party. That's a lot of money I'm investing in building a brand that I'm now going to start shopping the Diageo and different brands to partner on for years to come. So when I get the recap video and it looked like, you know, we edited something from Chuck E. Cheese.
Right.
Not for no $110,000 party.
So, but I love that my team now, we're at a point where when that passion kicks in and I'm very animated about what I don't like, they don't take it personal, and we work through it. And sometimes if they see something they don't like, they're equally as passionate.
Yeah.
Back in the day, though, I mean, I was an asshole, and still sometimes I am. But that's, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, I feel like you've gotten better with that.
And I wanted to
Therapy.
ask you.
Yeah,
you spoke on building your business the way you did, like from Instagram to what it is now. That's the wave. You know what I mean? Like, what advice would you have for people that are really trying to take advantage of utilizing Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, digital monetizing, all of these different things that you've mastered? What advice would you give to that person?
Somebody asked me that the other day, and I said, take my course, MediaMillionaires.com. Yes, I have a course. It's $47. So the first part is if you're not willing to spend $47, you're not serious. So the conversation's over.
Facts.
Then once you take the $47 and you see that there's millions of dollars worth of game in that motherfucker, now apply it. Nobody gave me the blueprint to building Hollywood Unlocked. Even like I shout out to Angie at the Shade Room because she was somebody I used to call every day saying, how do I do this? How do I do this? She would say, man, just figure it out. Just do your post. It's all in the content. Once I did the content and it started sticking, it's almost like this show, right? You start a new show. You don't know what it's gonna do, but once you get reposted, then people are like watching you because now you're breaking news or you're having conversations that nobody else can get, or you're asking questions that nobody else is willing to ask. It's gonna start sticking.
Yeah.
Once my content started sticking, then I knew I was doing something right, and then I started looking at every outlet. So, okay, how do I make a bag on Facebook? How does my bag on Snapchat work? How does my bag on Instagram work? And then how's my bag on my YouTube and on my website work? And I will give credit to Karen Civil because when she took my Instagram, it made me figure out how to make sure I have money coming in everywhere. So I didn't lose, and that's why I'm here today and still thriving when they try to take me out.
Yeah. That's good stuff,
Stop
bro.
being messy.
No, I'm not being messy. See, the only messy I know is the nigga that's kicking that soccer ball in Miami. Being honest is not being messy. Because
I'm skipping the Karen thing. Let's skip the Karen because I don't want to get in the middle.
I don't want to talk about
both my friends,
we cool.
And I don't like to get in the middle.
We cool.
Are y'all back cool?
No. We're cool.
Oh, okay.
No, but I don't have no beef with her. And honestly, I used to really love that girl. Like when I tell you, like
I know,
like,
and I try not to get involved.
No, like I really did, because one thing that is unmatched is Karen Civil's hustle. She could write a book on hustling because she is a hustler and she definitely knows how to get the bag. And she gave me some game early on too. You know, it's unfortunate because I did love her at some point, and when I see her now, it's really awkward because we literally bump into each other and just be like, you know. But I'm in my own lane now, and I'm really happy. And I'm at a point now where I said after my birthday party, I don't want to really. And last night was very mixy. I don't want to be around fake energy no more. Like if you really don't.
Last night was extremely mixy.
It was mixy.
Yeah.
And I don't want that anymore because I'm 46, successful, happy. I'm actively in therapy and wanting to, the rest of my years, I want to live a better life. My early years were rough as fuck. So like now I deserve to be happy. So anybody not adding to that got to go.
People never look at their side. Like what?
Yeah, like Michael B. Jordan rolling up on you.
How dare he?
You know, this is the thing.
It was wrong.
And L'Oreal, did I not call you?
You did call me. Okay, yeah. So I spoke to you, Charla, Sway. I spoke to all my, my council, I like to call y'all. And Jason was the only person that told me go crazy.
But I also was the only
told
one
me
that
go
publicly spoke up in support of you.
You did. Well, yeah. Charlamagne spoke
Did he?
up as well.
Okay.
Yes,
Well, Charlamagne, but he's another
he
fearless.
He made a joke out of it though. Like it was funny.
But
he was like, she was lighting his ass up in school.
But here's the thing, right? Like,
and Joe.
Well, we know now that you weren't the one that actually did it.
Yeah.
But you were the one that received it. What people probably didn't know at the time is you were invited to go to that carpet.
Yeah.
You know, and so we were invited to go too. And I've never had a bad thing to say about Michael B. Jordan. I like him. I respect him. I think his contribution to black film and film in general and everything is amazing. And I'm a fan. But I felt like him taking that moment to try to sun you was some coward shit.
Yeah.
And the
it was corny.
And the reason why I called you was because to say, one, I thought it was corny because there's a lot of stuff out there about him that we all choose to not put out there.
We know a lot of stuff.
I got some stuff, but he ain't never came for me. So
that's what I'm saying, and that's the thing. I could have chose that route. And when I spoke to you, I'm not gonna lie, because you know me, and you know that I could go up. But I think the way that it was spun, like when it hit The View, I think when it got the worst, because they really made it like high school bully, and she does this, and then I started getting more threats and attacks, like we don't want her working anymore. And I'm like, hold on now, I didn't even say this about this man. You know, and I think it just got a little carried away. And that's what happens when everybody puts their opinion in things and don't know that he's reaching out to other people like, damn, my bad, she didn't even say that. Can you tell her I said my fault? And I'm like, nah, you could say my fault on my syndicated morning show that has a bunch of markets that you can do that on.
And because black women feel like you only date white women or really only like white women, you could have come up here on this show and pieced it up for the culture and made it look like you're going to stand behind somebody that you got wrong. Like,
well, that's the black platform thing you were talking about. He'll go to every white platform. But here's the deal.
You never see them call out white reporters. Never. Ever. Because I'm not going to come for the master's wife. Yeah. If I do that, then what plantation I'm going to be? This slave mentality that these black artists have that they don't even realize. They don't even understand when they hit a carpet. See, what I love about Kevin Hart and Tiffany Haddish, my friends who I've been able to talk to, when they hit that carpet, they look at the time and they look at that whole carpet to make sure they get to who they got to go to. Yeah. Tiffany, I remember went to a red carpet. She started with Black Press first. So watching her walk across a major red carpet to the end first was a scene in itself, and then she worked herself back.
Yeah.
So I love that. Same with Harvey Mason at the Recording Academy. I had to grab him by his hand and walk him to the carpet and say, I'm not going to be right here next year.
Yeah.
My team won't be right here next year. We'll be right there, and we want the same look, and now we're working that out. To your point, to your situation with Michael, where I was disappointed because I wanted you to drag
him
in the moment. Because that's the only reason why I don't do red carpet. If I say, hey, how you doing, whoever, and hey Iggy Azalea, how are you today? Oh, I'm not talking to Hollywood Unlocked because y'all don't support me. Well, shit, you don't support black issues anyway unless it's a black dick. You ain't worried about nothing with your saggy ass. Bye.
Right. So
that's why I don't do red carpets because I'm telling you right now, I don't give a fuck about. Hey, therapist, I love you, Elliot. Ain't no therapy in the world gonna let you try me and think you gonna walk away with some dignity.
Hold on,
bitch, you want a bully? Here's a bully. Guess what?
He never called me a bully in the moment, and I knew what he was referring to.
It was classy shade what he was doing too.
Yeah, so I was really like, oh, okay. First of all, I never called him that, and you got it mistaken. But I knew it came from Media Takeout, which I never talked about.
Yeah,
it came from a Media Takeout headline.
Shout out to Fred. Fred will get you fucked up in the streets. Let me tell you something.
If you read the headline, it really looked like I said that. I even had to click on it. Like, yo, where did I say this at?
Yeah.
So I knew what he was upset about.
But can we say something?
But
if your name is Michael Jordan in school, it's gonna be a joke.
Exactly, it's gonna be a joke. So that's why I looked at it like, oh, he got this all messed up. Now, had I said it, I'd be like, yeah, you was corny as fuck. Like, that's me because I'm gonna stand behind what I said. But because I'm sitting here like, I've been defending your little ass.
Yeah, but again, it's the grace that we give that we don't get credit for. You gave him a lot of grace. And I'd have been like, first of all, Iggy, your skin ain't even clear enough for you to ask me a question like that. I would have,
But that's what I was going to
ask. You need
to
reach back and get that child support Playboy Cardi and give you. How about that? I would have read.
Why are you picking on Iggy though? Is that a thing?
No, because I think, well, she wrote that letter in support of Tory Lanez that she didn't want to get out, and it got out. And we see you profit off the black culture, and but you don't support and stand up for the pain of the black culture. And then behind protecting black women, you writing a letter trying to get this dick out because you miss it, not really support the black woman who got shot allegedly by the man who's been convicted. So to me, it's like all that fake shit, I ain't with it. So I just use her as an example, but that's what I would have gave her on the red carpet.
Tell us how you really feel now instead.
Right. All right, well, there it is. I don't even know how much more you can actually give. Yo.
Sure, I got one more. So blog beef, that's not a thing, because you're sitting here saying you had issues with certain blog, but then Shade Room,
I love all of them.
They done helped you. So like,
I love all of them. I respect all of them.
Do y'all feel like stealing story? Like nobody?
No. I think there was a period where we were all trying to be first and who can do. We have our own program. We have our own relationships, our own audience. I'm not looking at what they're doing or who got it up first. We're not in competition with them. Angie's been extremely supportive. I love Robin from Ball Alert to death. She's extremely supportive. As a friend, she will call me and put me up on game. She'll call me and say, "Oh, your team posted this video or this photo. That photo's licensed to this agency," and they just sent we like that.
That's dope.
Kyle from Neighborhood Talk, and when I met with Kamala Harris,
Kyle.
When I met with Kamala,
Great name.
Oh.
I think what's his last name? Anthony.
Anthony.
Let's be specific, okay?
But when I met with Kamala Harris, I brought all of them with me. Because I feel like we all need to get behind her and support her because, the administration is doing a lot. Yes, Joe falls asleep. Yes, yes, Kamala Harris is, she's not a president, so she's not doing presidential shit. She's doing what she's assigned to do from the administration. But as a attorney, as a black woman, as somebody who's extremely smart, and she's funny and she's nice and she's accessible. What's the alternative? Ron DeSantis? Who is telling women they can't choose and take the black books out to school and trans is bad and gay is the devil, or Trump, who on his way meeting, what's the lady name in Fulton County that's putting everybody in prison?
Yep.
She finna have Trump and Thugger like that, sitting next to each other. The fact
that he got a RICO charge is ghetto as hell. Like, the president with this RICO charge.
No, the fact that Giuliani, who was the champion for the RICO Act, got a RICO charge.
Right?
But but shout out to her because she's saying, y'all white motherfuckers gonna stop playing. Y'all want to write the rules and don't want to follow them, y'all can get it too.
I love
that too.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right, shoot, I could talk to Jason all day.
No, because I ain't trying. I'm in therapy and I feel like I done said a lot of shit I'm gonna have to talk to my therapist about.
Listen, you got to though, get it all out.
But I have to say, I love L'Oreal. I love what you do, how you do it, and how you deliver it. And it takes an extreme amount of courage to be honest these days. Like, if you're too honest, your job gets mad.
So they said there's a messy borderline here, and it's.
No.
That's what they say. No, I'm telling you.
You know what else is at the border? Cages. And you know what? You better be careful of the cage you put somebody in because somebody will open that cage. And when that bird flies out, baby, ain't nothing like the eagle landed on the other side of the planet.
Because, Jason is my friend, so I can get all the pointers over there.
Yeah, but here's the deal. What people have to understand is that the thing that makes us great in this space is us who are willing to push the line. Push the line, because if you're being honest and you're not being a hater and you're just reporting your opinion, which is invaluable, because no matter how much money's on your check, your opinion that's different than everybody else's is what's valuable. And I'm going to tell you something that Rihanna told me that I love, and I've never said this, but she told me this. She said, I called her one day, I said, I just feel all this pressure to change. Like, now that the White House is following me, or this, and I'm talking to Pepsi, I just feel all this pressure. She said, when I go to Twitter, I see what everybody else is saying, and I see what you're saying. I said, okay, that's it.
That's it. That was a good thing to go off on.
Yeah.
And I'm going to take that like how Charlamagne took that Kanye can't be useless.
Yo, the fact that Charlamagne stole that shit, like next time I go to Breakfast, I'm running him down.
I believe he said it on Ellen, to be exact. So I'm going to just be like, out in the world, you see everybody else's opinion, and that's L'Oreal's quote.
But the reason why I have an immense amount of respect for Charlamagne is not only did he encourage me to go to therapy, and we have the same therapist, is that he is so supportive of all of us that are on our come up, and he gives us a platform, and he shares it very selflessly, him and Envy, to allow us to be seen. And when I go on the Breakfast Club, the fans always say, add Jason, and I know they're scared to add me. One, they can't afford me, and two, I'm gonna come up there and be the gayest thing. I'm gonna be gayer than Charlamagne. So
You can't.
You know,
go.
like, oh, Charlamagne, you want to talk about some gay shit? I'll run this shit in the
That's
ground.
gonna be all day, every day.
But I
with
love
y'all
them,
too.
you know. But yeah.
No, but that is dope. That when you have like it's people like you, Envy, Charlamagne, like, cause you're in that class too, and y'all are able to reach out and help, and we can help each other. I think that's the best thing, cause therefore, like that's a circle that you can't break. And we've seen each other come up, been done from, we
Fire,
both did
let
Love
go.
and Hip Hop,
Yeah.
which is crazy.
Crazy.
And now to this.
I want to thank you guys for not bringing up Love and Hip Hop, because when people see me, you know, it's so funny because they'll bring up a Love and Hip Hop. That's when I go, one, you're a bad interviewer.
Yeah.
Two, you didn't do your research. I have a stage that I built at the Beverly Hilton that the vice president talked about me. Don't bring up the Love and Hip Hop Day. That's all you got, Love and Hip Hop.
Right.
And what I'm gonna start doing is bringing a drink, and when the interviewer says
Throw
it, I'm
it.
gonna throw it.
Throw it, you should.
Don't do it.
Since
You ain't gotta throw no
since
drinks
that's
up
what
here.
you
I
know
would
me
never
as.
bring that up with you because I worked so hard to get that off of my name that I remember at one point in time that, oh, you're the girl from Love and Hip Hop. And then you used to make my stomach turn.
Yeah.
So, like, when it comes, if I don't have to bring that show up, I won't.
Yeah.
And you're so much bigger than that, so that was like the least. I have 75 more questions here.
Wait, but
that we didn't even
see,
get to.
here's the deal. Our talent was bigger than that show when we got there. We just didn't have the opportunity. And for
Exactly.
black people, a lot of the opportunities we get are doors that we don't even want to walk through. But it's
We
the only
have
one
to.
that opens,
It
so
was
we
the
got
only
to.
one for us. You know?
Two people gave me advice on Love and Hip Hop that people know: Queen Latifah and Floyd Mayweather. Queen Latifah, who I've known for 30 years, who's known me since I was a 15-year-old boy in the hood, who loved celebrity culture, wanted to be in it, but didn't know how. Who talked to me on the phone the night my brother got murdered, who talked me off the ledge, who supported me, we just have a real relationship. She said, you better than that, don't do it. Don't do it. You better than that. And then Floyd Mayweather said, only 3 people are going to tell you not to do it. Those of us that are too rich and don't need it, those of us that don't have the talent to do it, and those that don't want to see you win. Go do that shit. And I did it. Pow!
It is.
And now,
That's
but
the way to go out.
and now, if that's all you know about me, that's the window that you're choosing to see. And then when you RSVP to the Hollywood Unlocked Impact Awards, bitch, denied.
When Mariah is greeting people at the door.
Next year, one of our guests we've already confirmed is Christian Louboutin. That's my homeboy. So, yeah, you want to come in there and see a red bottom? Cool. Or you can go to the gay club down here, Traffic, and see a red bottom. It's just going to be different.
Which bottom?
Right, do you want?
Jason Lee, Morning Hustle. There it is, bro. Appreciate you hanging out with us today.
Anytime.
We are the Morning Hustle.